Is it actually sharp?
It's not. It's sort of a dull point, but I still wouldn't want to be stabbed with it. This is an ice pick prop from the 1992 film Basic Instinct. The ice pick itself is a really important character. It's a key murder weapon that you see throughout the film. When we received it in our collection, we actually x-rayed it. In the x-rays, we were able to see a retractable channel here for the retractable blade. It's very likely there were multiple ice picks used in the film. There are scenes where you see Sharon Stone using an ice pick and actually picking ice with it.
You have something against ice cubes?
This one is unique because it's retractable, so likely used for lack of a better word, stabbing scenes. We were also able to confirm that the handle is actually made out of wood, not plastic. It's heavier than you think. It also has this flat edge, which means it was likely designed to sit flat on a table so that it wouldn't move. Sometimes springs will warp or stretch out, but we were able to see that this is in good condition and can actually retract. Even one small object, especially like this, is a really great representation of the creative juice that goes into making a film.